João Pacheco Pereira. And he has a message for us. It says, "Hi, I'm João. I'm not sure it's like Juan or something like that. I'm in the final year for a 3D video game and media course, and I want to become a 3D artist. I haven't decided yet what I want to specialize because I enjoy doing both environments and characters. Here's my portfolio. I will be very pleased to hear your thoughts about it." Let's take a look. Got a message here from Becker Draw. Says, "By the way, polypaint on the iPad is very good, very fun. One question, do you know what's the polypaint color profile of ZBrush? I can find that information." Yeah, it's really good. We covered that on the new ZBrush for iPad course that I released last week as well. We do a little bit of polypaint at the lesson, at the end of lesson 3, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm not sure about the color profile, Becker. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research, but it has to be some sort of like sRGB. Like it shouldn't be too far from that. "Can you still work for game film industries if you use Blender? Why does the industry hate Blender?" It's not that it hates Blenders, Ben, it's that Blender, or rather most big studios, have already created a lot of internal tools around the other softwares, so that switch to Blender is very complicated. However, there are some big studios that are using Blender, and one of the big ones, for instance, is Epic Games. Epic Games and Fortnite, they are using Blender, so perfectly valid. And no Solid Mango, I have not seen the newest Venom movie. Okay, so let's start today then with our portfolio review, and this is by João Pacheco Pereira. So the first thing I noticed, my friend, is that you definitely want to be a character artist, or at least that's what your portfolio suggests, because we have 5 characters and we have 1 prop and 1 like game environment. I can see that the quality of the props, it's a little bit on the... I don't want to say beginner level stage, because I do see some cool stuff in here, but it's not to the quality of what you might want to pursue, especially if you want to work again in like AAA studios and stuff. This chest right here, for instance, this is a fun one. It's a good exercise. It's a good model. Like, it looks fine. But we've talked about this before, and you're gonna be the first one to receive this feedback today. You usually don't want to do something that's too simple. Okay, I'm gonna give you a perfect example since we have Halloween coming up. I was working on a personal project a couple of days ago. And I was doing a pumpkin, you know, like a jack-o'-lantern pumpkin. So I did a jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, and I was practicing a technique that I want to further develop. And I did this jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, and it's look okay. It's not bad. It's a good exercise that I did. This single element will not be a good portfolio piece. Okay, it just like doesn't work because it's something that's relatively simple. However, if I were to do, let's say, another pumpkin, and then another pumpkin, and then like a fence, okay, and I do some vines and some leaves, and I do, I don't know, like some candies on the floor, right? Or like I do like a crow on the back, like an evil crow, right? Like this now, even though they're all simple assets, like if you think about all of them as separate pieces, the fence, the crowd, the 3 pumpkins, and the vines, they're now a little scene, like a little diorama or a little like story that I'm telling with them. And again, even though they're simple props, they now create something that's way more complete. So that's what not only you, Joe, but everyone else should do with your portfolios. This is something that's a little bit closer to what I mean. Like, if you're gonna do an environment, it's way easier to think about, okay, how can I make this something that's a little bit more complete, something that feels like it's more, again, like part of a product is what I would say. It doesn't have to be that way always, of course, but especially for this industry, the entertainment industry, it is important to always think about how your stuff is gonna end up being a product, okay? Now, from these characters, the asterisk that you did right here is good. I like this one. It's clean. Topology seems to be going quite nice, but the materials are very simple, right? Like, we have a very simple, so like just straight materials. Same for the illumination. And again, you're going to be one of the first ones that's going to get a little bit of recommendations here. And this is for everyone watching. I made specifically this course last month or 2 months ago, because this is one of the things that that I see frequently in portfolio reviews. Folly 3D, welcome my friend. So this course is completely free. It's on the site. It's called Portfolio Presentation Workshop. And this one's specifically, my friend, to avoid having this, okay? It's not that this is bad, but this is better, okay? Softer lights, rim light, 3-point lighting, better like presentation with color balances and things like that. So even if you have a very sort of like simple texture or material setup, you can make it way look way better if you do a little bit of steps to improve your rendering things. And that rendering can really push, again, your presentation and your chances to the next level. This one I don't love, to be honest, because it looks very low poly, especially the skirt right there. The construction here, this is something that's very weird. We normally don't have the hands facing forward, so I would advise you to probably take this one out from your portfolio. This anatomy study is fine. He does look like Ronaldo, so you did capture his likeness a little bit. However, again, we're not seeing a finished product. This is just, to me, like a work in progress, or like an exercise that you did to learn about anatomy. Do you want to make this a finished product? Add some pants, of course, add some soccer shoes, and prepare him to be like a game character. It could be like a Fortnite game character. And finally, we got this one right here. You did follow my advice, I think. I'm not sure if you saw my advice, but you just follow my advice on the gold, like not making it extremely bright, which is fine. This is looking, again, a little bit better, but I still see some issues with the, what's the word? With some of the geometries, especially. Like some of the elements, they look very old, very low poly, right? Like this is something that I might expect to see on PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and nowadays we can definitely push things a little bit higher. Another thing that's a little bit weird on this one, my friend, is that the roughness on everything seems very uniform. Like I don't see things that are like behaving like metal, like this guy's right here. They look more like plastic bits rather than metal bits. So you might want to give it a shot or a check on your textures. This little scene is also not working great, to be honest. I would rather just see the character by itself. Yeah, we might want to check like where the bakes and where the information is going. If I could recommend a course for you, it will probably be, of course, the portfolio presentation one, and this one, the substance painter course, which is gonna give you more tools to make your texture work a little bit more interesting. Let's see, should I need ArtStation to show my stuff works as portfolio? Yeah, ArtStation Vildan Rosjada is usually what people use. It's not the only option, but it's what most people in the industry use, so I would recommend. There's this other one that came out recently called Kara, I think, which is supposed to be a little bit better for us artists because it does not support any sort of like AI. However, I've still seen like a lot of activity on ArtStation.